7-4 record. Hey, fellas, maybe we should go for the first down. It's a funny spot because the field goal attempt would be over 50 yards. We're going to find out after this timeout what TCU decides to do. In punt formation, this is where I fake a punt, though, Dan.
Yes, it's a perfect opportunity, but looks like Texas is ready for that situation.
Well, Quartersman is going to try to put it off the side of his foot.
He faked the punt.
He faked the punt, that's for sure. I don't know if that thing made the line of scrimmage. 4-yard punt. They should have faked it. So Texas will take over on offense. Here comes the kick again, if you want to call it that.
No pressure to speak of. Jeter's coming up, but I mean, he was late. He was never going to get it, and that one just goes right off the toe.
Tell you what, Kevin would like to have thrown that one. Texas works from its own 27-yard line with a 7-3 lead. Gardere on the roll, going deep for Cash. Just overshot Keith Cash. Larry Brown was back there covering. Nice day here in Fort Worth at Amon Carter Stadium, celebrating its 60th year as the facility for TCU. TCU scored first on a field goal, 65-yard drive. They kept it off with a 26-yard kick. Texas came back in the first quarter and went 91 yards for the score. There you see Wilkinson with the kick to put TCU in front, and then Keith Cash, kind of a serendipitous catch after two TCU players collided, and he got the last ricochet and a 43-yard touchdown. Walker off the right side, and he goes for almost 8 yards to the 35-yard line.
A serendipitous catch.
Well, he got lucky, let's face it. Third down and 2.
Hey, Brad, it was interesting when we were in Austin the other day and we had a chance to talk to Butch Hadnot, the freshman running back number 40 for the Texas Longhorns. I don't know about you, but I could not believe that he was a freshman the way that he's built. They say he may be the next Earl Campbell.
It's unbelievable. We'll see more of him before the day's out, you can bet. Right now, Phil Brown into the single setback, and on third down and short, Gardere wants to throw. Got it to Walker. Flags are down as Walker takes it to the 44-yard line, which would be a first down, but let's wait and see. Flag thrown in the area of holding normally. That's what the Horned Frogs think. Bud Alexander says holding Texas. So instead of first down, it's going to be third down and about a dozen to go.
And I don't want to cast aspersions on Stan Thomas, but it was over there on that right side. And he used to get flagged an awful lot when in his earlier years with the Texas Longhorns for holding, and really gotten himself together and dedicated himself to playing good football this year, and has been doing a tremendous job.
Penalties even today so far. One of the penalties, though, against TCU cost them a possession. Let Texas continue their 91-yard scoring march after they'd already punted, but it was an offside on TCU that gave Texas new life, and they took advantage of it. So the Horns have third down and 12 at their own 25-yard line. They've got a dual backfield in this time. Gardere fires far side, completes it, first down, and then some. All the way out near midfield goes Darren Duke. 25-yard pickup.
What Derek Duke did was just settle down in between the zones, and watch, he's going to get released here, push there. Now watch him settle down. He sees the pocket there, says, I'm going to hold up right here, turn around, do my little stop route on the sideline, and then take off with the ball. But he just knew exactly where to go, and Larry Brown had the coverage downfield, number 9.
Duke did a nice job to put the move on Brown, then the stiff arm, and picked up some extra yardage. Texas first down at its own 49. Samuels got about 3.
Brett, it's been tremendous, the improvement offensively for Texas over the last 4 games. And just look at the numbers there in the rush offense. Just go all the way down to the bottom line. Total offense, 315 in the first 4 games, 525 in the last 4. And a lot of that's due to Lynn Amity, their offensive coordinator.
As we said, over twice as many points, twice as much rushing offense, and twice as much fun the way it's been going for them. 7-1 on the season, hoping for the Cotton Bowl for David McWilliams. And the Horns have second down and long. Play fake. Gardere got it complete to Duke again, about a yard short of the first down. It'll bring up 3rd and 1. Larry Brown again covering out there on the corner.
Larry Brown, a criminal justice major with 4.5 speed out on the corner. I'm sure he'd like to steal a couple of balls today from Pete Gardere.
Can run down the bad guys someday. Minnesota with the early lead on Michigan. Key game in the Big Ten, and that the Gophers still have somewhat of a chance, although most people think that Iowa has the best path to the Rose Bowl, despite their loss last week. Keep you posted on all the scores as we go through the day. A doubleheader. Don't forget, Tennessee and Ole Miss following us. 3rd down and a yard. Had not, will not. Nice job by the TCU defense, led by Jason Cauble and Roosevelt Collins and Brad Smith. They're all there.
One of the reasons why had not had a tough time trying to get that first down. Watch up in here. Watch the penetration by the defensive front of TCU. You see right there? Prather comes through and just puts some pressure on up in there, number 96, and that whole line just pushes them back. That gives the linebackers an opportunity to come back in there and make the stop.
So it forces Alex Waits to kick. His last punt went just 17 yards. The left footer got a lot of kick into this. Too much probably this time. As it'll go into the end zone. 43-yard punt, and the touchback will give TCU the football offensively at its own 20 when we come back. Tickets and Mike Joy here in Fort Worth, where Texas leads TCU 7-3 with 9:31 to go in the half. And the Horned Frogs have the ball back at their own 20-yard line. Curtis Motkins, single setback. He'll get the sweep to the left side. And a nice run of about 10 yards for Motkins. First down TCU. Penalty marker on the play right at the line of scrimmage on the near sideline. Let's see if we have a motion call. No, it's going to be offside against Texas. Decline. Tommy Novus, the Outland Trophy winner, and a great one with the Atlanta Falcons in the NFL. Maybe the most revered player, along with Earl Campbell, in Texas history. And, of course, he wore number 60. And that number 60 goes to the best linebacker Texas has. And this year, and in the past couple years, it's been Brian Jones. And, in fact, the folks at Texas, Dan, say, you know, we might have to just retire that jersey. It's too big of a burden to put on a kid to try to beat Tommy Novus.
We had an opportunity to talk with Tommy a few weeks ago when we did the Atlanta-Pittsburgh Steelers game, and he still looks like he could line up.
You don't want to play him in racquetball. They'll put you right in the wall. 1st and 10, TCU. Straight up the middle goes Motkins for 4 or 5. Boone Powell in on the stop.
Motkins is enjoying himself out there.
I was going to say, you can start to feel it that TCU's getting into it here now.
Now, see, you're getting a good push from up front from your offensive line. You get back in it. Breedlove, the center, does a nice job there. Sweeps his man out of the way, and that gives you that little hole to break behind. And what they're doing is almost a little counter thing where they're coming back on the backside of the play.
Motkins now with 26 yards on 7 attempts. 2nd down and a long 5 as Vogler looks to be changing the play at the line. He zips it out complete. Only a pickup of about 2 of those. He got it to Chris Thompson, his second tight end.
Chris Thompson, so 2 defenders inside, one on top and one inside. We said that they go where the competition isn't, so that time he just broke it outside.
Got in between Stanley Richard and Anthony Curl to make the catch, but it is still 3rd down, and they need almost 3 to go.
Well, one thing about this TCU offense, Brad, is they take what the defense is giving them. They're not really a greedy offense.
Matt Vogler told us that's the key. And he knows he tried to get greedy last week, and he was intercepted 5 times. Here comes the pressure on Vogler. Incomplete, intended for Stephen Shipley. Broken up. Grady Cabnis was back there. So was Lance Gunn.
Now, see, the thing is, if he has about a second more, he completes the ball right down the middle to number 20, Woodley. But Shipley comes across, and he gets the double up inside. But Woodley was the guy coming down right in the hole, right down the middle of the field, was wide open. But Matt Vogler didn't have an opportunity to sit back and read it and get the ball down there.
Kevin Cordishman's last punt was 4 yards, you might remember. He wants a lot more out of this one. A much better kick. Fair catch. by Samuels in the third.
TCU 3 in the second quarter. And on this series, TCU will be without the services of Dan Doherty, starting defensive tackle number 92, who is nursing a right shoulder. It is very painful even to pressure, so we may not see him the rest of the day. TCU will be stunning on every play. They figure that's the way to challenge Texas, as they are such a smaller team. They're on defense, and we're back to action.
All right, Mike, thanks. Butch Hadnot got only about a yard, and now that TCU defense is coming after a new quarterback as Jimmy Saxton is into the lineup, a freshman out of Austin. And we'll try to get word on whether or not Gardere has a physical problem. He went out of the game 9 out of 15 for 127 yards and a touchdown.
And we talked about the stunning. You saw the movement along the defensive line for TCU, and that's what Texas is finally trying to figure out, the riddle of when to block and where to block these guys.
Saxton on the option. Got a couple and is tripped up. Richard Booker got out there and got a piece of Saxton, who goes down after a short gain. It'll be third down, almost 8.
Starting over that left tackle position for Texas, Shane Shapley is in for Chuck Johnson, who I was watching the tapes of Texas's offense earlier, and he's just doing a fabulous job over there. And Shapley's done a pretty good job today so far.
Third down, 8 for Texas. It'll be Saxton's first throw. Flags down. He won't throw, and they're going to whistle this one dead. Might be a delay of game on Texas. 6:37 to go in the half. It's an illegal procedure call. So now it'll be third down and 13.
Len Amity, the offensive coordinator for Texas, was telling us that he feels his offense is one that's not going to feature any one guy. They got a lot of tools in that offense, but no guy is going to be the go-to guy, so to speak, on every play, where you're going to see a heavy concentration of throwing the ball to one particular receiver or one back getting a lot of yardage.
Walker has probably been their biggest man in the passing game so far today. Number 1 right there to the bottom of your screen. Saxton's in trouble. Got away from a couple, and now the ball's loose. TCU has recovered. Hunzy Bolden will recover the fumble after Tony Rand put the hit on.
Tony Rand's been having a fine ball game so far. Saxton on the scramble now. Watch Rand come up in. First Caldwell gets a shot up, but Rand just delivers another shot, and that pops the ball out, and Tunji recovers the ball for TCU.
Full name, Ali Tunji Bolden. That time it's fumble recovery. Bolden at the 31 of Texas. First down TCU. Trailing 7-3, 6:12 to play first half. Martin. Taken out of bounds near the 27-yard line by Brian Jones. Now the Horned Frogs faithful have something to cheer about. They get a golden opportunity here to put points up before halftime. Second down and 7. At the Longhorns 27. Again, the no-back offense for TCU. 5 receivers will be in the pattern for Vogler. Goes on the run. Woodley tried to make a diving catch and actually had his hands on it near the 10-yard line, but could not control it.
Woodley almost made a diving full rotation catch on that. He spun around one time on the ground and then almost made the reception. Lower right slot, number 20 right there. That's Woodley. Watch him on this play now. He's going to go downfield about 20 yards, make his outcut, and watch, he's going to trip, roll around, and then try to catch the ball on the rotation.
This kid in the last 2 weeks alone has caught 33 passes. And almost had one there. Third down along 6. Vogler with Jones in pursuit. Look out. That'll test that injured left shoulder. Vogler gets up rather slowly.
Key to the play was the coverage by Mark Berry, number 9. And what he did was he jammed up the receivers. Now watch him right here as he jams up in here. The receivers can't clear and make their routes. And as a result, Matt Vogler rolls out to that side. You see him jam his guy right down there. And also the deep receiver was not open at the time, so that forces the play back on Vogler.
Jeff Wilkinson's going to try a 47-yard field goal, his longest of the year, 45 against Arkansas. Did he get enough? No, not quite. So TCU, after the fumble recovery, squanders a scoring opportunity, and the lead remains the Longhorns, 7-3. 5:12 to go first half. This one came close. Just that much short. Longhorns take over, and they'll work from their own 30-yard line with the 7-3 lead. And Pete Gardere is back at quarterback. May have just been a series where David McWilliams wanted him to take a look from the sideline. Apparently not injured at all. They ran Saxton last time on the option a bit. Gardere off the plate fake, tried to get it to Kerry Cash. He couldn't quite one-handed.
That was a difficult catch to make at best.
Gardere wasn't in there the last series. Mike Joy, do you have a reason for us?
Brad, you're exactly right. Texas wanted to show TCU a different look, a run-oriented, option-oriented offense, and try to get TCU back off the line. So they tried Saxton for that series. Now Gardere is back in, and he's okay.
And he's got a 2nd and 10 here. He'll give it off to Samuel. Maybe a yard. That TCU defense, Dan, has been hitting out there.
Well, that's the thing, as we talked about earlier, if you can't just line up and run over somebody because they're a stationary target, then it throws you out of sync, and that's the problem that the offensive line of Texas is having right now. I showed you a couple of pictures of it where they're moving and slanting and going in different directions. What you have to do then is when you fire off, you have to take a read step, and that read step takes away your aggressiveness. What that means is you take a step, a short, choppy step, just to see where your man's going, and then hook up on him.
3rd down and 9, Texas. Gardere with protection. What? I was going to say what a catch by Walker. Couldn't quite hold on as he landed. And Texas will have to give it back to TCU. So the Horned Frogs still have time to put something together on offense.
Johnny Walker coming across the middle now. Goes up to the pass, dives for it. And one of the things you'd like to see him do is keep his feet a little bit more, because then he makes that reception smoothly and continues on the run. But when you miss one like that, it has you seeing red if you're Johnny Walker.
I thought he was going to comment. Here comes the pressure. They almost got to Waite's punt. And a flag goes down. They got too close to him. We're going to have roughing or running into the kicker, I think. Reggie Anderson might be the guy that got too much of Alex Waits, who's kind of limping off right there, number 80. This would be the 2nd time a key penalty on a punting situation for Texas, if indeed that's the case.
And these are the things that really take you out of a ball game. And you can see right there, it was clearly running into the punter. If you don't get a hold of that ball, you're in trouble on that kind of a situation.
So they're talking over the options right now.
Reggie Anderson, only a freshman out of Austin.
And he started today, so he's had a little bit of pressure on him, and now he's feeling the sting of a big penalty here.
That was one of the things with TCU and talking with Jim Wacker. He says, I got to play so many freshmen. I don't have the luxury of redshirting guys like most other schools do. And again, that goes back to the problems that this school had back in the middle 80s.
A running into the kicker penalty, not a roughing penalty. And so it will not be a first down. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remember, it was 4th down and 9, so now it's 4th down and 4. So they're going to have to do it again. And again, TCU shows 10 men up to try to pressure Waits. This time it's a soft rush, though, and a great kick by Waits. He hit this thing a ton. Oh, what a punt. 64 on CBS Sports. TCU first down. They've got 80 yards to go and 4:06 to try to take the lead before halftime. They come out slinging it, but good pressure that time from the defensive front.
When we talked to Bob the Best, their offensive coordinator here at TCU, he said one of the things we want to try to do at some point or another is go to our draw and screen packages to relieve some of that upfront pressure that's coming from the defensive front of Texas. And that was a clear example of it. But the problem now is the timing of it and making sure that you get the separation from the front line.
Second and 10, TCU at its own 20. Vogler scans the field, incomplete, intended for Woodley, and Jones was there defensively for Texas.
Texas has gotten used to looking at the 4 wide receiver sets after having totally dominated Houston last week. So they're not scared of this 4 wide receiver set, and they've got good athletes back there. In some cases, great athletes in their secondary that are able to do all the things you ask them to do in man-to-man coverage. But the real key is they're getting their hands on the TCU receivers when they release off the line.
The no-back offense. The numbers on third down conversion for TCU. They're hoping to get their third in 10 attempts right here from their own 20. Flags are down at the line of scrimmage. The pass incomplete. Stanley Richard back defensively, and TCU says the penalty's against Texas. It indeed is an offside call against the Longhorns. We'll bring up third down and 5, and they'll have another chance.
Brad, we talked about the no back offense, and what it is you get another tight end in here along with the 4 wides, and what that does is it spreads the field for Texas Christian, and they feel that they've got better matchups than man-to-man. Even though you don't have the back to pick up anybody rushing or that is blitzing the quarterback, you still got your wide receivers out on the field. You got 4 wides and your tight end. So it's in addition to what you'd normally see with the run and shoot.
And the Texas penalty, their 5th of the day, gives TCU another chance. Third down and 5. Vogler got it to Woodley. He's going to have to do it on his own, though, and he won't. Cavness, the corner, came up to make a great stop.
Cavness, another exceptional play. It was a screen outside, and it was a tight end screen, really. Stephen Clark, number 82, was supposed to throw a block out there off of the hitch pass. Now watch as Clark, 82, tries to throw his block outside. Cavness just reacts up to it very well. Number 21 coming up from the secondary of Texas. Right there, just gets in on the play. Good open field tackle. Just sunk that shoulder in there and took his legs out.
Kevin Cortison in a punt. 41, his long of the day. End over end kick, fair catch by Samuels right at the 45-yard line. 31-yard boot. 3:04 to play in the half. 7-3 Texas in this Southwest Conference matchup. And there's one other game going on in the Southwest Conference here at 7-3. And Baylor playing right now as well. Leading Rice 7-0 first quarter. First and 10 Texas. Gardere taken down by Cobble, the linebacker. Rest of the Southwest Conference today. Here's how things look. SMU and Texas Tech will get together. Arkansas has had some troubles this year, and they've got the Aggies. And Houston dropped to 12th after being 3rd a week ago. And coming in, here's how it looks. Texas needs 2 wins in their final 3 games to go to the Cotton Bowl. 7-1 in overall, number 7 in the country. And TCU, 3-3 after the quick start when they won 5 of their first 6, but now they dropped 3 in a row. They're playing Texas tough here today, though. They're going to blow this play dead.
Brad, as we were discussing some of the problems that Texas's offensive line has been having today, and one of the reasons why is because Clovis Hale, their offensive line coach, had to go home. His mother passed away. He grew up right outside of Abilene, and he's down there today. The funeral is at 4 o'clock. So the grad assistant, Craig Kessler, is working with the offensive line, and David McWilliams went down and instructed them a few times on some things they might want to make adjustments to, but we want to wish Clovis Hale and his family the very best in this very trying time.
And we're thinking about all of you. 2:13 to go in the first half, and a 2nd and 13 for Texas. Play fake. Gardere's in trouble, and down he goes. Sacked back near the 30-yard line. And it's Kenneth Walton, the senior tackle out of Dallas. That's his 6th sack of the year.
Lower left, that's where you're going to come from, right down here. Now watch this push that they're getting in there, and also the movement that is going on. You see the loops coming around. That is when one of those linemen will shoot in hard, and the other one will come behind him. And what they're trying to do again is hit gaps and find that little space in there where you're not and get to your quarterback.
Kenneth Walton, the speech and communications major. I bet he did a little talking after that sack. He's going to graduate next month. On third down. Gardere goes deep, and it was almost picked off by Lavoie Crump. He had a nice play on the ball, but couldn't hold on. I think he might have knocked the wind out of himself stretching out for that one. We hope that's all it is.
You know, one of the things that happens, Brett, so many times in this AstroTurf is that when you go up like that and you come down hard on the turf, you separate the shoulder, and the way that you separate it is because the ground doesn't move, or you can't slide on the turf like you would on natural grass. And if you don't have a pad protecting your arm, it pulls that shoulder right out of your socket.
And this is brand new turf here at TCU. 1:17 to go in the half. Texas with the lead. Quarter. Texas with a touchdown. TCU had the early lead 3-0. Now with 1:17 to go in the half. Alex Waitsman, a busy punter. This is his 5th kick of the day. Anthony Hickman is going to let it bounce, and Texas will down it at the 24-yard line. So the Longhorns were forced to punt again because they couldn't muster anything on offense. Coming up at halftime, Andrea Joyce and Mike Francesa with scores and highlights. And Mike's going to talk a little huddle stuff about the possibility of Marinovich out of USC turning pro, we understand. That's going to be interesting. So we look forward to that coming up.
Todd Marinovich is having a tough enough time just trying to be the quarterback of the Trojans at USC right now. I think he just better settle down and worry about that. You know, he is 22 years old, though, so that's the difference for him as opposed to most sophomores and juniors.
Vogler on first down. Zips it incomplete, even out of the hands of Woodley, and Richard probably should have had that one.
I don't know. That one had a lot of heat on it, though. Richard Woodley was about 5 yards across the line of scrimmage, and Matt Vogler just unloaded on that one. There's one thing for sure, there's nothing wrong with his throwing arm.
Vogler, a junior out of Tampa,
transferred in from Auburn. He wanted to come somewhere where he knew they were going to throw the ball.
He's 9 of 23 for 95 yards. After a 4 for 5 start, he has cooled off. He's got that no-back offense on 2nd and 10. And this time he threw it behind Kelly Blackwell. There was double coverage there. And it'll be 3rd down.
So one of the things that Texas is going to do as you watch this pass offense develop for Texas Christian is they're going to take the inside linebackers. If they're not blitzing, then they're almost playing a zone up in the middle. And what they do outside is they play man, and they call it man-free. Free safety is out playing zone, as well as those inside linebackers. And what they try to do is shut down anything coming to the inside, number one, and then have those linebackers take the inside receivers out.
And the reason they can do that is they are such talented defensive backs in man-to-man coverage. Those guys can really stick with you back there. 3rd and 10. Vogler over the middle, and this one, I'm not sure if it was headed for Blackwell or Cedric Jackson, kind of between the two. And Vogler will have to pick himself up again.
So one of the things, the problems that TCU is having is they're thrown in that middle where there's just simply too many bodies. You got to go outside, work the perimeter, make them commit outside, then try to work your way back inside, maybe 15 yards downfield.
So Kevin Cordesman's in to kick again, the sophomore. There's his numbers on the day. Chris Samuels back for Texas. Samuels this time will take it at the 41 and go down to the 40. Great coverage for TCU after a 35-yard punt, no return. And Texas now has 43 seconds to work. And these teams that have put up so much offense in the past few weeks, and here we've got a 7-3 game. And it all started with TCU going 65 yards, and Wilkinson hit the 26-yard field goal. Then Texas had stalled on a drive, were forced to punt, but there was a penalty on TCU, gave Texas another chance, and they cap a 91-yard march with this 43-yard touchdown pass to Keith Cash, and that's where we stand. All that scoring came in the first quarter. 7-3 Texas. They've got it at their own 39-yard line. Picked off. James Prather in the right place at the right time and just couldn't hold on to it.
Yeah, but he's a defensive lineman. See, he's got too much tape on his hands and everything. See, 96 is Prather. You're going to see him from the inside on the left-hand side of your screen coming off of his block right now, just jumps up and slaps this thing down. But, you know, those guys, those defensive linemen aren't used to catching balls. And that one came low, and he reached high.
Everybody in Elk City, Oklahoma is going, come on, James. 2nd and 10, Texas. Gardere stands in, fires far side, complete, the first down to Johnny Walker. Pickup of about 13. To the 46-yard line. And a first down for the Longhorns with a 7-3 lead. Well, the band having a little discussion down there as they're awaiting their halftime performance, which is about 31 seconds away. And Pete Gardere has a chance to talk to the Longhorn Brain Trust and comes back out with a first down at the TCU 48-yard line.
And you've got to believe that one thing Texas wants to do is work the sideline and maintain as much of the clock as they possibly can. They need probably another 15 to 20 yards for a safe field goal, safe opportunity to try a field goal. And of course, they'd like to score the 6.
Had not the single setback. Gardere, deep middle, Walker again to the 30. Another first down and a pickup of 18. And Walker trying to call another timeout. Clock winding down at 24. Gardere likewise does get the timeout call. Texas now in pretty good shape with 24 seconds left. Brad Nessler, Dan Jiggets, and Mike Joy at Amon Carter Stadium in Fort Worth, where TCU at home is trailing Texas 7-3. They played them tough, but Dan, they've given up some yardage here on this last drive before the half.
Well, that's the thing, and you figure that they're going to work to the outside, but the problem for TCU is that they're playing so soft in the secondary. You expect them to get up in some form of man-to-man and get some pressure right up there on the wide receiver. But so far they haven't been doing it. They've been allowing them to run downfield wide open, and that play only took about 6 or 7 seconds.
He's calmed down now, but Jim Wacker was out to about the hash mark trying to get his defense aroused. 1st and 10, Texas. Gardere, deep ball again. It'll be 1st and goal. 23 yards to Keith Cash. 18 seconds to go. And now TCU is going to take a timeout.
And many may say, why did you take the timeout? Well, they probably figured that if Texas is able to march down the field on them like that, they better get things squared away before you see 6 points go up on the board.
And everybody we talked to says Gardere doesn't have the shotgun arm or anything. Well, these last 2 throws are right on the money.
He's got the kind of arm that can just squeeze it in there. And sometimes, you know, quarterbacks get fortunate with those kinds of opportunities where they can get the ball in between coverage. And other times, if it's a split second late, it's intercepted. But Gardere's got nice timing on the play.
Keith Cash with his 3rd catch of the day for 82 yards, and he has the Texas touchdown. And he got the Longhorns the 1st and goal now at the 7. There's the timeouts. Each team with 1 remaining and 18 seconds left. Texas has an opportunity, I would think, here for at least 2 plays before having to attempt the field goal if they don't score.
You make the coverage and you make it happen. Now you get up inside. The game is on the line now. We have to make more leadership in the huddle. Come on,
Jim Wacker, and you may have heard him, you make the coverage happen, you make the play, because this is the ball game. Now, we've got a half left, but that's a pretty strong comment from a coach.
And he's looking for some leadership. He wants somebody to step forward and make the big play, make the big stop, and do something important out there.
Peter Gardere is 3 for 3 on this drive. His last 2 throws have been picture perfect. As 1st and goal, Texas at the TCU 7. Had not the single setback. Here's the fade for the corner. Incomplete, intended for Kerry Cash, the tight end. He felt he was bumped back there.
And the officials, I think, are saying, well, you know, the ball was thrown out way out of bounds, but expect him to go back to that. Cash at 6'4", 6'5", can make those fades up there and make the one-hand catch in the corner. Let's watch the coverage over here and see if he was interfered with. Right there, there's the push, but it's a push by both men, really. You see both the receiver and DB push. And Johnny Walker was open immediately on the slant in the out pattern, but Ball just never got delivered to him.
13 seconds left, second and goal. Gardere to the end zone, touchdown Texas. And it is Kerry Cash. Comes with 9 seconds left in the half. He is hard to stop down close. They tried the fade once, and then that time just zipped it on the quick slant. Gardere's second scoring toss of the day, and he's spreading it around to the Cash brothers.
And watch Greg Evans, number 6, on this coverage. Now, we talked about him before, or Larry Brown, excuse me, coming in a little early. Now, this time Brown comes in, and Cash just simply comes across on the slant, and he's in great shape. It's hard to see behind a target like Cash when he cuts across on the slant pattern. He makes a touchdown reception.
Time now to present this week's Toyota Leadership Award to the team players who've been singled out by their school's coaching and faculty staff for outstanding performance in the areas of team contributions, academics, and citizenship. Today's game team leadership winners, right there, Oscar Giles of Texas. You see the 3.1 speech communication man, and Mike Sullivan of TCU, a marketing major. Good job, fellas. Toyota will donate a check in the amount of $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund.
Mike Sullivan told us the other day that this is his 40th start at Texas Christian University. So he's a young man getting it done in the classroom and on the football field, along with Oscar Giles at Texas.
Pollock to kick. Could be the final play of the half, a high kick. Hickman's going to take it at the 3. Has a seam in the middle. To the 41-yard line, 38-yard kickoff return. So time for one play for Matt Vogler and the TCU offense. Boy, about one more man, and we have a big-time play to end the half.
Right. Now, it's not unusual for Matt Vogler to run trips or quads, if you want to call it that, with 4 wide receivers. So expect to see them try to go to the end zone on this thing and maybe get a tipped ball or pass interference.
I'm a little bit surprised they even have anybody in their backfield, but they do. Final play of the half. Vogler loads it and lets it go for Woodley. Incomplete at the 10-yard line. So TCU sees Texas get a late touchdown in the second quarter here. And at halftime, they are trailing 14-3. Longhorns 14-3. Let's go to Andrea Joyce and Mike Francesa. Yards on the day and a couple of touchdowns. And meanwhile, Matt Vogler is really struggling after a strong start. He was 4 for 5 at one point.
Now, keep in mind, a couple of weeks ago, he threw for 690 yards. But today is Pete Gardere going to Keith Cash, number 11. And they made it a family affair. This is a touchdown of 47 yards, as Brad mentioned. And come back a little bit later on the ball game in the last drive of the near the end of the first half. And right now, it's his brother, Kerry Cash, number 19, going in on a slant pattern and makes the touchdown reception. Twin brothers, twin touchdowns.
Kerry cashes in with 9 seconds to go in the half, and thus the 14-3 lead. Look at the rushing yards. We talked about the stable of backs Texas had. It hasn't mattered, has it, today?
No, they certainly haven't gotten their running game on track, and TCU is not really a big running team, so you expect them to put all of their numbers up in the passing game. But so far, they've been ineffective in their passing game, and Texas really hasn't done anything on the ground to speak of.
Remember, until the last 9 seconds, it was a 7-3 ball game. TCU, I'm sure, would have been very happy with only being down 7-3. But here's the final drive of the second quarter.
And they were able to take the ball down 60 yards and drain 34 seconds off of a clock that only had 36, 37 seconds on it.
Pete Gardere threw the touchdown pass. He was 4 for 5 on that last drive. Mike Joy, what do you have for us, partner?
Well, Jim Wacker told his Horned Frogs he was very happy with their effort. They're making very few adjustments. Dan Doherty, defensive tackle, is gone for the balance of the game. Alex Molina and Jared Ferguson will alternate at that spot. The important thing Wacker said in his halftime speech is he feels his team is closer to Texas than they were last year. And last year in the third quarter, they led 17-13 before Texas finally prevailed. Brad?
All right, Mike, thank you. As you see Vogler warming up. Interesting scenario right now. Of course, we talked at the top of the telecast about the fact that he was injured, and he is making this start. He's struggling right now, Dan, but let's talk about why maybe there won't be a quarterback change.
Well, the backup quarterback is a young guy who they're redshirting, and they're trying to redshirt him, is Tim Shady, and he's 6'5", 208 pounds out of Pekin, Illinois, and they'd like to continue redshirting him. But one of the things we talked to Jim Wacker about is that I believe that you should give all of these kids 5 years in school without having to worry about the red shirts, medical red shirts, and all the rest of that. Just give them 5 years to get in and out. Most students, it takes them 4.5 years to get through school anyway, and you hold these kids to a different standard and put a lot of pressure on them and make all of those decisions very difficult ones, particularly now when you look at the cost of sending a young man to school on a scholarship. He said it makes sense financially as well as getting the most out of them.
Texas kicks off to start the second half, and Toby Morey's going to take it a couple of yards deep. So Vogler and the TCU offense will work from its own 20-yard line to start the third quarter. You know, TCU with no rushing yards to speak of, and most of their passing offense came really in their opening drive.
One of the things I'd expect TCU to do in the second half, Brad, is to do some more rubs, some more situations where you see them coming out and using picks. And that is to take off the man-to-man coverage, because if the man-to-man coverage is tight, the picks will rub them off.
The Horned Frogs first down to start the third quarter. Modkins got almost 5. And he's been a pretty valuable commodity, although they have not rushed the football that much. He's the guy that does it about 85% of the time. In fact, coming in, he was getting 85% of the handoffs and pitch-outs. So you don't see a lot in the backfield other than number 28.
No, that's a good thing. That's the good news for a back in a one-back offense. You're going to get a lot of opportunity.
You know it. Second down along 5. He's got another opportunity, trying to sweep the right side. Nice pursuit by Lance Gunn from his safety position. That's a great name for a Texas defensive back, Lance Gunn.
Mike Sullivan was the guy leading that play. He's number 77 for TCU, and came out through his block and tried to get up and throw another one, but the gun was shot in by that time and made the stop.
So here's a key third down right off the bat for TCU. Got to make every possession count, really, in the second half. Against the powerful 7th-ranked Texas Longhorn team. Play fake. Vogler has Blackwell. First down and out to the 38-yard line. Kelly Blackwell with a catch. Lance Gunn brought him down, but he got 13 on the reception.
Fred, one of the reasons why there's not as much pressure on the quarterback Vogler is because he's rolling out and he's taking that pressure off, because that Texas defense just simply can't get to him as quickly. And Blackwell just does a little delay release there right along the line of scrimmage, like a drag pattern almost. Just comes right out along the line of scrimmage and makes the reception. Blackwell
now with 62 catches on the season, and he's only 3 short of the Southwest Conference record for tight ends. First down at the 39. Here's an option. And Modkins gets a handle on it. I think he steps out of bounds at the 28-yard line.
But, Brad, it's a wonder that Matt Vogler got up after that play, because he just got hammered when he went out on the option. And, again, with a separated shoulder, that's taking an awfully big chance of running your quarterback up. Watch him get the shot just as he flips the ball out. And you saw him turn his right shoulder to let the pressure hit that one. And what everyone was upset about was Boone Powell sitting on top of the quarterback after he'd made the pitch. He rode him like a steer.
I was going to say, made the hit and then ride him cowboy, huh? Second down at 21. Vogler off the play fake, got it to Woodley, who's dropped immediately by Jones at the 40-yard line. But they got past the original line of scrimmage, and now it'll be a third down about 9. It's a good-looking freshman, Richard Woodley.
When you watch him run his routes, you don't feel like you're looking at a freshman. It's like you're looking at somebody who's been running those same routes for 2 or 3 years and maybe a junior.
As we said, he had 15 catches against Houston and 18 catches last week against Texas Tech, which was just 1 short of the Southwest Conference single-game record. Again, a third down situation for Vogler. Incomplete. A flag down in the secondary. That pass intended for Woodley again. We're going to flag down back near the 40-yard line of Texas. Penalty's going to be walked off against the Longhorns.
Ryan Jones, number 60 for the Texas defense, is the guy who they like to bring on the blitz because he's a big linebacker, 6'3", and probably about 240 pounds. And that time they walked him up and sent him on the blitz. Watch him right here. He's going to come in on the blitz, but TCU does a nice job of just stuffing the whole thing up. The area, the stuff that is, they just pick up the guy that comes to their area, and that gives Matt Vogler time to get the ball downfield. Unfortunately for Vogler, the receivers don't pick it up.
Well, with a penalty against the Longhorns, it is first down TCU. 12 men on the field was the call against Texas. So that moves it all the way to the Longhorn 45 for the Horned Frogs. 3 receivers all right there in the bottom of your screen. This might be a penalty against Texas, too, as Modkins takes off the left side. He got 5 yards. And it looked as though the left side of the Texas defensive line jumped early, maybe Shane Dronette. And they would probably take the penalty, which would make it 1st and 5. Otherwise, the run would make it 2nd and 5. Georgia Tech going for their first ACC championship, and they are routing Wake Forest.
You know that Leon Fuller, the defensive coordinator for Texas right now, is up here top pulling his hair out. He gives up a lot of easy penalties, and that's something you don't want to have happen. We're talking with Leon Fuller day before yesterday in Austin. He was telling us the biggest influence in his life was Bum Phillips, who he said, I basically grew up with Bum looking over me.
And then played for Bear Bryant at Alabama. He says, I don't know if any of the good things rubbed off, but I've been around the great ones. 1st and 5 as they did accept the penalty at the 40-yard line of Texas. Watkins waits for his blocking, got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Great surge by the defensive front for Texas, led by James Patton.
And really, Curtis Watkins made a nice adjustment there, too, because really that play's supposed to lose yardage, and he just pulled back out and let the blocking take place up front and then tried to squeeze as much out of it as he could.
Matt Vogler, the junior out of Tampa, with his Horned Frogs trailing 14-3 here in the 3rd quarter, needs 5 yards on 2nd down. Again, he's got a trio of receivers to his right. Goes short and over the head of Modkins, who came out of the backfield. Let's get an update from the ACC game, Maryland and Virginia. Andrea's got, that's a good one, between the Terrapins and the Cavaliers.
Sure, Andrew's a little disappointed her Wolverines are struggling against Minnesota today.
She's saying, hey, we got a whole half and we're only down a field goal. 3rd and 5, TCU at the Texas 40. Incomplete intended for Woodley, who stretched out to try to make the diving catch and couldn't quite hold on. And now 4th and 5, and TCU's going to have to give it up. TCU has been at the Texas 40 or inside the Texas 40, I think 3 times and have nothing to show for it.
Brad, normally TCU has a real problem when they get inside the 20 scoring, but today, you're right, the problem has been when they get inside the 40 to really make some points out of those opportunities.
Nice job by Cordesman to one-hop that snap that was bad, and he got the kick away down to the 17-yard line where the fair catch is made. Texas 14-3 here in the 3rd. 11:18 to go 3rd quarter. The initial possession of this 3rd quarter for the Longhorns for their own 17-yard line. Gardere wide open over the middle. Stephen Clark, and Clark's got a 1st down as he picks up 12 out to the 29-yard line. Mike Joy, what's Texas going to do here in this 3rd quarter offensively?
Well, Brad, they went into the locker room grumbling about their ground game. Hard to imagine the Texas team getting only 19 yards in the 1st half. You'll see a lot more of the double tight end package trying to create some running room for Hadnot, who had only 8 yards and 7 carries in the 1st half. Gardere's thrown the ball 25 times already today. Usually that's his per-game average, so we may see Saxton later on.
Hadnot in motion from that Texas backfield as Gardere wants more in the air. Kerry Cash can't one-hand that one. He was open.
And that time, Lynn Amede's offense for Texas goes with a no-back offense as well. When you put Butch Hadnot in motion like that and then put him up on the line of scrimmage, he's essentially a wide receiver out there.
We talk about Lynn Amede, the offensive coordinator for Texas, quite a bit today, and his name has surfaced as a possible replacement for Mike Archer at LSU.
And that's where he started out at, playing quarterback at LSU, so you know he'd love to go back there. He worked there with Charlie McClendon.
Curly Hallman of Southern Mississippi and Mac Brown from North Carolina, some of the other names mentioned there. Hadnot off the right side, and that's more of what we saw a week ago against Houston as he carries would-be tacklers with him to the 35-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 4.
I think the exceptional thing about this young man is not only does he have huge legs and the ability to run over people, but watch when he gets in there, he puts his shoulders down, and he understands how to deliver the blow. A lot of backs receive blows, but Hadnot delivers blows when people try to tackle him. A true freshman. Hard to believe when you see him, brother.
3rd down and 4. Hadnot's the single set back with Gardere. Will put it in the air. Nice defensive coverage as Johnny Walker tried to make the catch, but Larry Brown stretched out to knock it away.
That was great coverage that time. Watch Larry Brown out of Los Angeles. He comes out of Compton. Just reaches over there and slaps that ball down. That's exceptional coverage. 5'11", 178 pounds.
The TCU defense does their job again. Waits to punt. 10 men up for the Horned Frogs, and here they come. But he got the kick away, and he hit it a ton again. Hickman from the 16. Got about 10 yards on the return. So TCU has the ball back after a 51-yard punt, a 10-yard return, and the Horned Frogs with 10 minutes to go, trailing 14-3. Back at Amon Carter Stadium, it is 14-3 Texas with 10 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Brad Nessler, Dane Ziggets, and Mike Joy along with you. Beautiful day here in Fort Worth. Would be even more beautiful for TCU if they could put some points up. Vogler to the air, intended for Blackwell, incomplete. Let's get another update from the ACC. Let's go to Andrea. 15-3. TCU with the ball in their own 26, and Modkin on the pitch doesn't get much. Might have gotten a yard out of it. Brian Jones got help from his friends out there defensively for Texas. Take a look at some of the action in the Ivy League.
Brown leads Columbia. What's new? Cornell over Penn. That's a big game there. That one's going to decide it. Oh, my Harvard guys are really taking on the chin from Yale. Dartmouth leads Princeton 13-zip. Near the standings, Dartmouth atop the league with a 5-1 inside the league, and Cornell 5-1. They're tied. Yale, Harvard, complete.
Your guys are 500.
Oh.
The no-back offense for TCU. Vogler looks around, almost completed it to Woodley. Jones was shadowing him again from his middle linebacker position.
Brad, he almost completed it to Brian Jones, too, and Brian almost had the touchdown on the play. A step closer, and he has the interception and runs it in for the touch. Watch him here now. He's going to pull out. He's faking the blitz, trying to give him a little different look here. Now he's going to slide out to that the coverage outside against him. You see, he was just like a second short. Another second more, and boy, he's gone.
One of those could have been plays because he would have gone one way. Had Woodley caught it, he would have gone for a touchdown. There was nobody home on this side of the field. This is an excellent TCU punt. What a roll this is. That's a home field bounce, folks. At the 5-yard line. That's a 68-yard kick. Kevin's average is going to come up a little bit with that one.
He knows the pool table.
Which cushion can I use? All right, Kevin. Finally got something to brag about. Good kick. Texas buried at their own 5.
And as Mike Joy told us in his last report, they're going to try to run the football a little bit. This is an excellent situation to run it in.
There, their 2 tight ends set. And here's the pitch to Samuel. We got 2 or 3 before Roosevelt Collins and Jason Cottle could run him down.
Normal situation, you expect Texas maybe about the 2nd quarter to start lining it up. You know, have those big guys with all the beef up front just kind of wear you down. And by this point in the ball game, if you're smaller and lighter than they are, then you're exhausted from having accepted all of those run blocks. It hasn't happened that way for Texas today. They've been throwing the ball a lot more, I'm sure, than they planned to. They like to keep a nice 50-50 balance between run and pass.
7-yard line. Little misdirection to Samuels. Then he got out across the 10. Dives forward to the 12. Almost the 13. He's about a yard short of the first down.
I said earlier that Texas would like to wear down TCU, but look at their average yards per rush. 1.4 in normal situations. They're well above that. TCU is only 0.9. They might as well not even run it.
Wow. And Watkins has done all of that. 3rd down and a yard for Texas. Pass in motion. Samuels got it. And could have a lot more. To the 30. Yards for Samuels. Tony Rand saves the touchdown.
Now, the key thing that happens in this play, Brad, is number 19, Terry Cash. Watch him throw a block without throwing a block. Now, the pursuit's going to almost catch up with Samuels here now. He stumbles one time, almost gets caught there. But see Cash, he gets in the way of one guy right there. He tries to push him in. Now he goes down and gets in the convoy. You see Samuels pointing guys out to get this guy. He blocks another man from behind and gets one out front. 3 blocks without ever having to hit anybody.
Remember, it was Samuels who had a great game a year ago against TCU and a great run there. First down at the 30. Deep ball, overshooting. Keith Cash is Gardere. Larry Brown was covering.
The Cash family has to feel pretty proud. They've got twin sons playing at the University of Texas, and both of them will probably get an opportunity to go on and play in the National Football League. The 2 great students and great athletes at Texas.
Keith right there is considered the serious one of the 2, and Kerry the more playful one of the bunch, and you couldn't tell them apart in the locker room yesterday, that's for sure. Here comes the blitz on Gardere. Got it complete. Out to the 25-yard line to Adrian Walker.
We talk so much about what TCU is doing up front now. One of the things they're doing is watch the games that are being run up in here and watch Gardere roll out to that side, and he rolls away from the action and settles up outside very comfortably, has a little vision downfield and is able to deliver the ball. And he gets a shot later on, but that's what the quarterbacks are there for. They're supposed to get hit a couple of times too.
3rd down and 5, Texas. Gardere, deep ball, and he overshot Johnny Walker. Larry Brown again, the man they tested on the corner.
Larry Brown's been seeing a lot of action in his left cornerback position.
So Texas is going to try the field goal here at Amon Carter Stadium in Fort Worth, where they lead 14-3 with 6:25 to go in the 3rd quarter. TCU scored first. Texas has come back to score 14 unanswered points on a couple of Gardere touchdown throws, and now it's a 42-yard field goal attempt by Michael Pollock. That one may have been touched on takeoff too, but it's right through there. So the Longhorns tack on 3 more. They lead by 2 scores. Michael Pollock's 42-yard field goal capping a 70-yard drive, 17-3. The Horns in front with 6:21 to go in the 3rd quarter. And Pollock set to kick it away. Hickman and Toby Morey back. Morey takes it to 3-yard line. Nice return out to the 28-yard line. Amon Carter Stadium, 60 years old. Mike Joy, can you find anybody that played a game here then?
Well, in fact, I can. There are 10 players living from that original squad. In 1930, the first walked into this concrete stadium. 60 years ago, Lon Evans, former Southwest Conference All-Star and Green Bay Packer, was the starting guard that year. What was it like to walk into this stadium for the first time?
Well, we were very, very proud of an opening of a new stadium. We had 41 on the squad. We only have 10 alive today.
And you opened it in grand style.
Right. We had an awfully good day that day, and we were very happy.
40-0 against Arkansas, the stadium opener. It sat 21,000 then, 46 now. What do you think of your Horned Frogs today?
Well, we're playing them for all they want. I'll tell you, they thought they had a, when they played Houston last week, they did play a good game, our Longhorns. Well, I'll tell you, they're having to play a good game today.
Okay. Lon, thanks for being with us.
You bet, Mike. Always a pleasure.
All right, gentlemen.
Lon, old Green Bay Packer. I'm an old Bear.
You guys would get along great, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we'll go down and talk a little Central Division stuff.
Tell you what, I like that purple shirt Lon had on. The Horned Frogs trailing Texas, and they started off with a 3-0 lead on Wilkinson's field goal. Had an impressive drive. Then Texas came back in the first quarter. Keith Cash got the catch off the ricochet from a couple of defensive backs to go up. Then his brother Kerry with 9 seconds left in the half with a touchdown reception, and that's how we ended the first half. Pollock just added the field goal. 17-3 Texas in the driver's seat for the Cotton Bowl if they can keep it going the right direction, and so far today they have. Horned Frogs from their own 28. Vogler got it to Jackson. Cedric Jackson to the 45 of Texas. Pick up of 27 yards.
Brad, one of the things that was very apparent in watching this TCU football team in practice is the fact that they've got a lot of emotion. They play with a lot of emotion, and a lot of that comes from their coach. But they're not the kind of team that's just going to simply give up if they feel that they're being dominated one way or another. And that's, I think, evident now in these kinds of plays. They're at a point in the game where you expect maybe they would fold a 10 against a big, strong Texas football team. They're just hanging in there and fighting them.
Vogler gets Jackson over as he's got a trio of receivers there to the top of your screen. On first down, overshot his tight end, Kelly Blackwell. Virginia and Maryland keep putting points on the board. Andrea Joyce got an update for us. Andrea?
Well, guys, as you say, down in Charlottesville, Maryland giving the Cavs all they can handle. Late in the third quarter, Scott Zolak to Gene Thomas, 6-yard touchdown pass, and the Terps have tied it up again. Meanwhile, in Ann Arbor, the Wolverines have taken the lead over Minnesota. Back to you, Brad.
We knew you'd tell us about that one. She kind of snuck that one in real quick. Second down and 10. Here's a draw play to Modkins. Texas read it well. He got about 3, but that's all. Dieter and Giles in on the stop.
This is Brian Jones inside. He's working against Mike Sullivan, number 77, and Sullivan gets a pretty nice block. That little roll there. See, that's what those linemen will do. They don't get you on the initial shot. They try to roll their legs into you now. A lot of defensive guys really don't appreciate that.
Brian Jones transferred from UCLA. He says the preseason goal of this team was to hold the opponents to 13 points or less a game. They've done that today. It's 17-3 Texas. Here comes the blitz on Vogler. He hung in there long enough, but it's still incomplete, intended for Blackwell again. Again, the Texas secondary is just doing a whale of a job back there in man-to-man coverage.
And Brett Alexander is down for TCU. He's their offensive tackle, 6'7", 305-pound senior out of Houston. And one of the problems he has with his legs, he's got a loose tissue floating around in his knee, and every now and then it locks up on him, and he's just got to come out of the game and try to get it loosened up again. He will have surgery after the season.
TCU has only 10 first downs. This will be their 9th punt. You don't want to match punts with first downs in anybody's ball game. That one goes in the end zone. Touchback in Texas. We'll have it at the 20. So here the Texas Longhorns lead the Horned Frogs of TCU 17-3, trying to stay unbeaten in the conference. Baylor, meanwhile, has the same score out in front of the Owls of Rice. And with that in mind, keep in mind Baylor and Texas will play next week. Here's what's coming up later today. SMU and Texas Tech. Houston home to Eastern Washington. There's the Southwest Conference standings.
Texas is top with a 5-0 record within the conference, 7-1 overall. Houston trailing. They were beaten by Texas last week. Soundly beaten by Texas.
Little swing. Nice catch. Going to lose yardage. Chris Samuels made the diving catch. Maybe lucky he did that. Looked close to being a lateral almost if that ball had come loose. Meanwhile, keep in mind, Texas has Baylor and Texas A&M as their next 2 opponents. They need a win today and then one more to go to the Cotton Bowl.
Let's think a little bit about what David McWilliams was telling us about his team and his philosophy, and that is one, you know, you hang in there and you do as his phrase says, whatever it takes, and the team said by whatever means necessary.
That's right.
And basically, that's what they've been doing today.
Gardner fires out far side, incomplete, as Keith Cash was thinking about which direction he would head after the reception and forgot to take the ball along.
Brad, we mentioned earlier about David McWilliams, and he was being on the bubble coming into this season. He said he just made a firm commitment to himself and to his team to be closer to them, pay more attention to the X's and O's, and maybe cut in half all the other outside interests that he had. That is, speaking with the alumni groups and that kind of thing. He said, the thing that really gives me a thrill is getting down in that locker room and talking with my players.
It is 3rd down and 14, Texas. Gardner swarmed under, the ball is loose. TCU will cover it at the 9. That's the break the Horned Frogs have been waiting for. Roosevelt Collins is the man with a hit.
Number 48, and he comes in from the backside. They ran a stunt up front, and Roosevelt came in from the backside, unblocked, and Pete Gardner never had an opportunity to even see him coming.
Now, it's quite simple, even though it's still only 3rd quarter. TCU has got to get 7 out of this. They trail 17-3. 1st and goal at the Texas 9. 2 tight end sets. Watkins will lose 3. That's what you don't want to happen on 1st and goal. Tommy Jeter made the hit for the Longhorns.
Brian Jones that time came in on a blitz, and it just disturbed the whole play because the timing of it is they're trying to get outside. Now, he's going to be on the right side right there. Now, watch him go inside. You see him disrupt the play there. He was not blocked early, and what happens is you push everybody off track. The backs are trying to sweep outside, and they just can't get to the positions they want to be in.
Shipley hasn't caught a pass, I don't think, since the 1st quarter. He's got the best hands on the field, probably. 2nd and goal. Vogler, Shipley at the 5. But it's still 3rd down.
Talked about Brian Jones earlier, and Matt Vogler's gotten very comfortable seeing Brian Jones in his face. Here he comes on the blitz again, and that's pressure. You see somebody like that up in your face. He does the right thing and just kind of comes off him. He doesn't try to bury him.
I got to think this is 2-down territory at this stage.
Yeah, and you notice that TCU likes to run those fades to Shipley and Blackwell.
3rd and goal at the Texas 6. The fade, incomplete. And no flag, and TCU still waiting for one. Shipley's been banged up all week.
Well, I tell you one thing, if Texas, if their secondary did something like that out on the street, you'd have to call 911. Those guys are tough back there. A lot of team speed overall in that secondary for Texas. And they get up in your face, and they make sure they get the jam on you right at the line of scrimmage.
So much for my 2-down territory at the 6, trailing by 14. They're going to go for the field goal. And I think Shipley says we should have gone for it. Jim Wacker wants some points out of this. And thus Jeff Wilkinson in to attempt a 23-yard field goal. The fake. Touchdown. It was 2-down territory. Cedric Jackson takes it in for TCU. Cut it to a touchdown.
This is ain't got nothing to lose football. Watch right here. That's where you're going to see Jackson come back across, get the flip from Mike Nowak, number 82, and just take it right up the other side. Got good blocking up there as well. And That's a free-form football. They're enjoying yourself. And here's the defense. You see them reacting, trying to get up to block the field goal. But, hey, guess what, guys? They're running this one.
Great shovel pass. Nowak the holder to Jackson for the score. Jim Wacker said, aha, we called it.
Hey, see, Brad, I told you I was going to do something. Wacker for governor. I think Ann Richards, who just won the election, might have something to say about that.
Be a lot cleaner campaign, probably. David McWilliams, Longhorns lead, been cut to 7.
And this is exactly what David did not want. He did not want to let TCU back in this ball game. And I'm sure one of the things he's going to say to his team is, hey, you had them on the fence right there. You could have pushed them off, but now you let them back in. We could be in a battle for the rest of this thing with 2 minutes and 39 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
That has pumped new life into the Horned Frogs and their fans here at Amon Carter Stadium. Trey Beacon to kick off. Nice kick. Walker will take it at the 6. Has some room on the outside and gets it across the 30-yard line before he's bumped out of bounds. At the conclusion of today's game, we'll be selecting a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game from each team. And for the 20th consecutive year, through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program, $1,000 will be donated to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. With Dan Diggins and Mike Joy, I'm Brad Nessler here in Fort Worth, Texas on a gorgeous November afternoon. And the Horned Frogs are right in the thick of this one after the fake field goal for the touchdown. Let's see what the Longhorns do offensively. Stopped at the line of scrimmage.
One of the reasons why that play was stopped at the line of scrimmage is Kenneth Walton, number 90, came around on a trick. That time he just gave the arm over technique, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Watch him right down here. Arm over technique. They're doing a slant on that. You see him come over the top and just pursue down the field, right down the line of scrimmage and make the tackle.
Second down at 12 for Texas. Play fake. Gardere. Incomplete, intended for Stephen Clark. Jason Cobble back there again.
Brad, when we talked to Texas on Thursday, they said one of the things that scares you about coming in here to TCU with all the players they had injured, the starters that were down, and all of the rumors that were going around about who's going to start at quarterback, they said it's like a wounded dog. And that's what's really scary because you don't know what to expect out of them. You're right back in this ball game now.
In this case, a wounded Horned Frog. Only down 7. 3rd and 10. 3rd and 12, maybe. Gardere. In and out of the hands of Cash, his intended receiver.
Pete Gardere got good protection from his offensive line. You see the slant, that slant tackle down there, much like the Steelers used to run. Gardere, though, doesn't pay any attention to that. He says, hey, I can step forward, throw the ball. Cash coming across on the slant pattern. No real coverage to speak of. This ball just simply overthrown.
TCU has gotten pressure on Alex Waits all day long, too. Here they come again. Almost got to him, and he got off another excellent punt. Hickman from the 20. Hickman got close to 17 on the return. And TCU starting to turn it up a notch. Let's get it on 37-yard line. Vogler deep for Blackwell. Boone Powell was covering and was incomplete. And for the first time in about 5 minutes, the crowd just quieted for a second to catch their breath, I think.
Well, you think about that defensive front for Texas with Oscar Giles up there, Tommy Jeter, James Patton, Shane Burnett. They normally get a lot of pressure on the quarterback, but today the offensive line of TCU has done an exceptional job of keeping the pressure off Matt Vogler and keeping him in the ball game healthy.
Texas came in here with 30 sacks. And they're trying to get to that separated shoulder of Vogler, you can bet. 2nd and 10. Shipley. First down, TCU.
Here's Shipley coming across on the crossing pattern. Watch the little move outside. Just gave a little shoulder move outside, and that tries to set up the defense just a little bit. They're sitting back, and normally that defensive secondary is playing some tight man-to-man, but this time they weren't. They're playing in the old zone. Vogler delivers the ball, takes a little push and says, I'll take that. I get the completion.
Shipley, another one of those guys who's been banged up all week with an assortment of injuries. That was his fourth catch of the day. Deep ball, incomplete. Actually, I think Cedric Jackson had stepped out of bounds running that pattern anyway. 1:03 to go, third quarter. The Texas Longhorns leading the Horned Frogs of TCU 17-10. Georgia Tech on their way to an ACC championship in that game.
Florida, big, winning big.
And look at that one.
Maryland,
we've been keeping you updated.
A hard time, yeah. Florida State over Memphis State.
Second down at 10. The line of scrimmage, the Texas 48. Watkins somehow snuck through there to the 44-yard line. It'll be third down and 6. Booker, who didn't start this game due to an injury, and you can see he's having some more problems today with a right ankle. And this is the biggest third down of this half, maybe of this game, for TCU, trailing by a touchdown. At the Texas 43, Woodley in motion. Vogler got rid of it, avoided the sack, but Brian Jones, as he has done all day long, putting the pressure on Vogler.
Now, the combination of blitzing the middle linebacker and doing line stunts, that is the twist that I talked about earlier up front, really puts a lot of pressure in. Now, watch, right up in here, Jones is going to come in, but you're also going to see, I'm sorry, right there, now watch, you're also going to see the defensive line run some stunts up inside, but Jones just shoots through there. What happens, the center looks outside, doesn't see that middle linebacker. He comes in and puts the pressure on the QB.
The 10th punt of the day coming up from Kevin Cordesman. He's had some long ones and some short ones. Peters would like to get it inside the 10-yard line here. How about that? He did it to the 8-yard line where Chris Samuels made the fair catch. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow, we've got a double. TCU's defense is fired up as Walker gets nothing there. James Prather made the first hit. A loss on the play.
Prather's been a very busy man this afternoon on that defensive line for TCU. Watch him coming in, just smother the running game for Texas.
He moved over.
Steer takedown.
He moved over from the offense a year ago and now playing on that defensive front with TCU. Walker might have some open field here. First down, Texas. Larry Brown knocked him out of bounds, but a pickup of 21. Clock stop with 2 seconds left, third quarter. Larry Brown has been one busy left corner today, hasn't he?
He sure has been. You know, one of the things that's interesting now is Texas is getting a little bit more comfortable in that running game, running behind Stan Thomas and Jeff Boyd over on the right side. You got to believe that they feel that that's going to be like the major highway for them if they can continue getting that kind of effort up front.
Will be the final play of the third quarter. A Texas first down. Had not. He's having a tough day against that TCU defense led by Roosevelt Collins that time. And that's the end of the third quarter here in Fort Worth with a score of the Longhorns 17, TCU 10. Our coverage will continue after this. Fort Worth, Texas. Brad Nessler, Dan Jiggets, and Mike Joy here with you on a gorgeous day in Fort Worth with 15 minutes to play and Texas in front 17-10. Walker in motion. On the option, it's Samuels. Out to the 35-yard line. It's going to bring up third down about 2.
And this is kind of the control game that you expect Texas to go to now to burn up the clock. But look at the rushing yardage now. It's really picked up considerably for Texas since the last time we showed you this graphic. And one of the reasons why is I think when you make the commitment to go in there and tell your guys, hey, look, just button up because we're going to start running the football, that's when they get ready and get in the frame of mind to do it.
Hadnot checks into the Texas backfield. He's had a tough day. 12 yards on 10 carries. There he is, number 40. Third down and 2. Gardere to throw for it, and got it to Cash. Keith Cash to the 44-yard line. Make it Johnny Walker, excuse me, number 1, not number 11. Walker's been busy today.
There's a play selection for Texas today. Usually they run a very balanced attack, but it's been a little bit more in favor of the pass. TCU, on the other hand, has thrown 41 passes on the day, and their record right now is at 79 passes in a ball game, and they may well close in on that if we go into the fourth quarter. They may throw about 20 more.
For Johnny Walker, who just made that last reception, his 5th catch of the day. I thought you were going to say something about the 5th of Johnny Walker, right?
I'm off of that one
You're
now.
such a mess.
Hey, you know, looking at Butch Hadnot, one of the stories that the Texas people were telling us that when he first came to Texas, he and Earl Campbell were comparing the size of their thighs. That's how big this young man is.
Longhorns are hooked up with the Horned Frogs in a key battle in the Southwest Conference. Texas needs 2 wins in their final 3 games to go to the Cotton Bowl. They thought this one, I think, would be a little easier. They're in quite a fight right now with TCU. Hadnot, and he bounces out, still on his feet, all the way to the 44-yard line, and that's a first down for the Longhorns. Pick up of 12 for Butch Hadnot.
Every game, Stan Thomas makes a decision and picks out a time to start dominating the line of scrimmage. He's number 51. Watch his block right there. Watch him dominate the line of scrimmage. Take his man 5-10 yards downfield, maintain that contact, and then finally just push him off. And Butch Hadnot just does a nice job of breaking off of that one tackle and getting a couple extra yards on the play.
By far his best run of the day. First down, Texas. Hit to Walker left side to the 40-yard line, a pickup of about 4. Let's go to Mike Joy on the Texas sideline. Mike?
Well, Texas is firmly in their eat-the-clock mode now. They're running a lot of sweeps. When they made that first one work, somebody behind their bench gave a loud, well, now that's what we should have been doing all day, and now they are. Passes a little side out and sweeps to use up the clock and keep control of the ball.
And TCU does not have the kind of front line defensively as far as size that they can match up with Texas all day. They might be getting a little bit tired. Well, they don't look tired this time. Gardere is going to have to run for his life. Made something out of it and got to the 37-yard line. Baylor and Rice also playing today.
Game 17-13, third quarter. Texas knows they got a tough game going in there and a tough game at A&M, and they'll have to bring the real live Bevo the next time when they go into Waco and A&M. Or I guess A&M plays in Austin this year.
That's right. That'll be December 1st. There you see it. Third down and 2 for Texas. Trying to keep the drive alive and trying to use some clock. And it's Hadnot. First down. Greg Evans shoved him out of bounds, but 21 yards for Hadnot.
It's going to look like a mass unit here in a couple of minutes because this Texas offensive line is just simply blowing off the football, reestablishing the line of scrimmage. Now, you do whatever you have to do up front to get the job done. Sometimes that means accepting a block, and sometimes it means throwing one. But they're getting it done up front now for that Texas.
James Prather down?
Yes, I meant about that mass unit. Get all that beef up front. You know, you don't even need Bevo out there. There's enough beef on that Texas offensive line.
2 carries ago, we were talking about how tough a day Butch Hadnot was having. And now he's got 47 yards. And although he appears to be one of those kind of guys who seeks out somebody to run over, you got to keep in mind as he hit the corner that he's got 10.5 speed in the 100. So he can do it both ways. Prather looks like a left shoulder maybe as he comes out.
I said about Hadnot is he's the difference between this year and last year. It allows Texas to run between the tackles with a big power back.
He is in there as a single setback. 1st and 10, Texas at the TCU 16. Here he comes again. A couple of flags fly in. We'll get an update on the BYU gauge, 5 gallons. Is that what you said earlier? He's keeping track of her over range. We're only teasing, Andrew. Penalty marker on that last play. And they're going to walk it off against the Horned Frogs. Line of scrimmage now is right outside the 5-yard line.
And we said at the beginning of this drive that Texas wanted to keep the ball on the ground and grind up some of the clock. And right now it's 12 minutes and 56 seconds remaining on this in this ball game. And they started to, remember, even up with 15.
Samuels, the tailback behind Hadnot. Samuels got just inside the 5 before he's run out. Collins was over there. So was Lamoille Crump. Brad Smith from his middle linebacker position.
Hey, even the guy holding the dial down got in on that one. He got bounced to the wall. Look at him. He's got to pick up his hat. Yeah, thanks a lot.
I'm all right, he says.
I took the shot. See me lower that shoulder? He forgot what down it is now.
He'll have a great story tonight at dinner, won't he?
It's 2nd down.
He's still got a smile on
Look at his numbers are all messed up now.
It's like a bingo card down there.
We're just checking on that to make sure that it is indeed 2nd down. Remember that Colorado-Missouri game where there was a mistake made in that situation.
Gardere, plenty of time. Has a man open. Touchdown. Keith Cash, 2nd grab of the day in the end zone. Gardere's 3rd scoring toss.
Keith and Kerry Cash are going to argue about this one because they were crossing right in the end zone. And I'm sure Kerry's going to come back and say, Keith, you know, that was my ball that you caught.
They'll take the result, that's for sure. 23-10. Pollock in for the point after. Texas needed an impressive drive, and they got it for 7 points.
Watch Keith and Kerry Cash cross in the end zone, and Keith is running underneath, Kerry's running up on top, and they almost run into each other, but the thing was is that Keith Cash made the touchdown reception, took away from his twin brother. Right here, they just cross pattern.
24-10 Texas. Here in Fort Worth, and Texas has added a touchdown to give themselves the 24-10 cushion. Pollock to kick. Hickman lets it go. Seems to be a little indecision between Hickman and Toby Morey. Take a look at the last touchdown.
Told you that the Cash brothers crossed in the end zone, and what happened was Gardere had to scramble on the play a little bit, but Keith takes it away from Kerry, gets the 6 points. David McWilliams just breathes a sigh of relief over on the sideline, and it was some serious disappointment on the other side of the field for Texas Christian University. Frustration.
As you said, Keith Cash took it away from twin brother Kerry, it appeared, and that gives him 11 career touchdown catches. Kerry has 10. Vogler on play action. Going deep for Cedric Jackson. It's intercepted. Stanley Richard, the sheriff.
Stanley Richard was having a tough time this early this season, and someone left a badge on his in front of his locker, I guess it was, and told him to be the sheriff back there. He says, now I am the sheriff, and I am going to control and stroll back there and be the boss, and he makes an interception here, gets in great position. We knew that TCU probably wanted to go deep, and we had an idea. Cedric Jackson was going to be the guy. Try to go on the go route. Richards just steps in. He's going to be a guy that's going to go high in the NFL draft, Brad. Maybe a number 1 or early number 2.
The sheriff says, I'm bringing law and order to the defense. He just picked off his 4th pass of the season.
They still got that bag.
And now Texas will try to go back to the ground game. Phil Brown that time off the right side. Last time Texas had it, they took it 91 yards in just over 3 minutes and capped it with Keith Cash's 2nd touchdown catch of the day. Gardere's got 3 touchdown throws today, and everybody's going to look at him and say, well, you know, he doesn't have a great arm. The kid's done everything they've asked of him.
They're going to start calling him Air Gardere.
Sophomore out of Houston, number 10, Peter Gardere. 2nd and 7. Going deep. A man there. Davis, touchdown. Air Gardere to Mike Davis. It's 30-10. In for the point after.
Pete Gardere came out with the waggle, had some protection from his guards as he comes out on the roll. He's coming, we thought now what was happening is Davis is streaking from the far side of the field on a corner route, takes the reception, bobbles it just a little bit, keeps his eyes on it, keeps his concentration, takes him for 55 yards out.
And the sophomore has a touchdown. It's 31-10. Where the Longhorns have run it up to 31-10. Thanks to Mike Davis, who just went 55 yards on another touchdown reception off the arm of Peter Gardere. Jackson will take it at the 13. Out to about the 23, maybe the 24. Gardere now 269 yards and 4 touchdowns.
And then you have to wonder here if Davis thought he was going to get extra credit for catching that ball about 4 or 5 times. He says, hey, do I get 2 or 3 more receptions based on that?
Boy, the Longhorns have done it through the air today. We talked so much about their great running back stable.
And there's that balance we talked about as well in terms of the offense, you know, getting up into that area where they're used to being overall.
TCU can't throw it on every down. They keep it on the ground there. Let's get another update from the ACC. Vogler playing with an injury. Throws complete. Big hit put on Thompson, his tight end, but he got the first down, and a flag flies in late after a 13-yard pickup. Do we have a late hit in there?
That may be against David Breedlove. He came down and threw a block. He's just protecting his receiver downfield because he was getting tattooed on the play.
Personal foul against the offense. The first down and 25.
It really wasn't a vicious shot, and that's why I can't understand how come the flag was thrown. He's just simply going down and making sure nobody else hits his receiver. That's the kind of stuff you want your linemen to do.
Tim Wacker wasn't too excited about the call, obviously. Tim Wacker, who back in 1985 took a stand against his own team, and it's something that's been well documented. Many of you maybe don't know the story, but he had a tremendous team, but he found out of some illegal inducements. Some of his players were getting some things from alumni, and not only were those 7 players gone immediately, but TCU turned themselves into the NCAA. And as Coach Wacker says, we got the 2nd worst penalty in NCAA history. And they're still trying to fight back from that. Incomplete intended for Shipley, and a flag down to the 45.
And this one may be whoever was working against Kyle McPherson. But to continue that story, Brad, he said now it makes it so difficult. That's how come he's got to play so many freshmen, because as he recruits them at TCU, they've got to get out on the field because they just don't have the depth, because so many scholarships were taken away from them.
They lost 30 scholarships. We said, Coach, does it take you 5 years to get back from something? He said 10 minimum, because of the impact of the NCAA infractions. And you have to credit a guy like that, though, for standing up and making that stand. And he's been successful everywhere he's been, including here at TCU, but he won a couple of Division II titles, Texas Lutheran and Southwest Texas State, back-to-back conference crowns with North Dakota State. First down, TCU. At its own 40-yard line after the penalty. Watkins in the flat, nowhere to go. He lost almost 10 yards. Stanley Richard came up from the secondary. 31-10 here. Texas in front. Elsewhere in the Big Ten, Michigan now controlling things against Minnesota.
Illinois out in front of Indiana. And Ohio State losing to Wisconsin in the second quarter.
That'd be a shocker if it held.
State Northwestern, that'd be a shocker too if Michigan State lost to Northwestern.
Iowa and Purdue later, and Iowa still controlling things. If they continue to win, they have Purdue and Minnesota. If they can win those, they're on their way to the Rose Bowl.
Ohio State still with an outside shot.
Vogler with a play fake. May keep it here. You don't want an injured quarterback running the ball. Oh, brother, what a shot he took at the 35. If he gets up from this, he's a tough kid, and he is. Oh, brother, let's take a look at that one.
And it's Jeff Higgins, number 31, that really gets the shot that just simply pounds him. You can take the first one because he's going down to the ground. But watch the second shot right there. That's the one that really just nailed him. He is a tough young man, folks, to be out there playing with what is a separated shoulder and stand up to that kind of pounding.
Just about got a separated upper body from the lower body on that shot. It is third down and 15. Throws over the head as Shipley, his intended receiver, who, had he been able to somehow pull it in, would have had a first down. Cavness recovering.
Shipley is down now. Got twisted up with Cavness just at the end of the play. Cavness has had a good football game today. He's played outstanding in the secondary for the Texas Longhorns.
Kevin Cordes money in the punt. Has it blocked. Bubba Jack blocked it. Van Malone did the rest.
You know, at least they got ugly late instead of early. I mean, they just simply started to roll here in about the middle of the third quarter on. They just got busy.
About 20 yards on that return of the block punt. And with 8:55 to go, Pollock will try to make it 38-10, and he does.
The Longhorn thundering herd starting to roll all over TCU now. Watch Bubba. Is it Jacks or Jocks with the block? Malone picks it up, scoops it up. No pressure, just takes it on in for the 6.
Van Malone adds another touchdown for Texas.
And I tell you, the Cash brothers, Kerry and Keith, have gotten in about 5 hello moms and dads. You know, they're getting a double shot in there, too, so you got to count them up, see who gets the most.
A happy Longhorn sideline.
You know, it was interesting the other day we were in their locker room down in Austin. They were over there having it. That was about that same group. They were having a great time in there then.
Morey's going to take this one at the 4. Toby Morey. That head on at the 32-yard line. Let's go back to Andrea in New York and another update. So far, picking off number 8, Virginia. Meanwhile, 7th-ranked Texas right here having their way with TCU in what was a close game up until really the last 6 minutes or so. Watkins on the ground. And he gets it out near the 40-yard line. In fact, Texas has 21 points in the last 6 minutes. That tells you how things have opened up here in the fourth quarter.
That's an opportunity for Texas to work in some of their other people and let them have an opportunity to get some game time experience.
See, they've only got about half of what is their norm on the day. They had 736 yards of offense against Houston a couple of weeks ago. Modkins has a first down. Flags go down. See if this one comes back. It is a holding call against the Horned Frogs, and that'll negate the first down run by Modkins. 8th penalty of the day on TCU, and Modkins comes up limping.
One of the things you have to appreciate with these Horned Frogs, they knew they were in a tough battle with Texas, and they just stayed in here and just, kept battling, much like that little Horned Frog that used to be so prevalent down here in Texas. They're fighters. They just don't have the depth this year, though, that you need to be competitive against a team like Texas.
Matt Vogler told us yesterday, he said, hey, the pressure's on the Longhorns. They're the ones with a high national ranking. We'll go out and try to give them everything we can. And they did up until 6 or 7 minutes ago when it was still a one-touchdown game. Here's the no-back offense. Second and long. This ball's intercepted. Michael Paget picks it off, and Vogler's shaken up.
Matt Vogler, a very courageous day. Fortunate it had to end that way for him. Here's the shot that he took after he released the football this time. Again, remember that left shoulder, separated shoulder, gets taken down to the ground by Yeoman. All smiles over in that Longhorn sideline now, though.
They got it at the 42 of TCU.
During the commercial break, the defensive line was looking around at our cameras and saying, hey, next stop is Waco. Here we come, Baylor.
Mark Murdoch in at quarterback. The Longhorns' third-string signal caller will take over the reins. Finds himself in trouble right away. Down he goes. Roosevelt Collins, junior out of Shreveport, Louisiana, who was such a dominating player a year ago, but he had some help up front from some pretty good people on the defensive line. And
guys like Fred Washington is with the Bears now, and 3 guys that are playing in the NFL along that defensive line are gone now for TCU. So Collins has struggled a bit this year, but he's a co-captain. Communications graphics major.
Wilson off the left side, and he takes it down to the 40-yard line and a first down.
And you want to see some guys know how to have some fun. When you put those 2nd and 13 guys in there, they don't have anything to do but cut loose. They're going to have a great time out there. They'll go back on the plane and take the bus ride back, and they'll be talking about every block that they threw. It'll be just indelibly etched in their mind.
Patrick Wilson, junior out of Odessa, Texas. He said, hey, don't tell me to slow down. I don't get many opportunities.
I got 2 speeds, fast and maniac.
3rd down and 8. Murdoch, his first throw, incomplete. Intended for Graylin Johnson. Pretty good toss, too. And Calvin Jones broke it up. Don't forget him. Texas will punt. Fair catch called for, and this one will make the end zone. So TCU will work from its own 20-yard line with 6 minutes, 9 seconds to play in the ball game at Amon Carter Stadium. It is Texas 38, TCU 10, a game that just exploded in the Longhorns' favor over the course of this 4th quarter, thanks to number 10, Pete Gardere, with 4 touchdown passes on the day.
Pete Gardere, a very quiet, unassuming young man who, you talk to the Texas coaches, they tell you doesn't have the great arm, but has the timing and the touch that is necessary to be a successful quarterback in their offense.
He's got to feel pretty good about this. Last year against TCU, he was knocked out of the game with an injury, and he's come back with a vengeance this afternoon to lead the 7th-ranked Longhorns to what will be their 8th victory in 9 outings, and they'll be perfect in the Southwest Conference at 6-0. Modkins, even with the bad wheel, back in there, and he takes it out to the 27-yard line. There's the numbers on Pete Gardere. Remember last week, 322 yards passing in the big upset over Houston. Today, 4 touchdown tosses tying a Texas record.
Hey, tell Pete to turn around. He's supposed to be getting some serious airtime right now. Got to make sure everybody in Texas and all across the country knows what he looks like. I told you he was unassuming.
That's right. 2nd down and 3. Vogler got it to Blackwell. First down, and Blackwell fights for extra yardage. And Blackwell got it to the 41-yard line, a 14-yard pickup.
There was some pressure from up in the defensive line of Texas. Number 54, Todd Yeoman. He's in there and trying to upset Matt Vogler.
Vogler gives it off to Modkins again. Nice tough run of 5 yards for Curtis Modkins out across the 45 to the 46-yard line.
Now, Brad, this is where the pressure comes in on the second team guys if you're in that Texas defense, because the guys with the starters on the sideline are saying, hey, don't give up our stats now. We got some great stats in this ball game. You can't mess the situation up for us.
Since the outcome of this game with Texas in front 38-10 appears that there is no doubt as who's going to win it. Most of you will be going to Memphis, Tennessee for the start of the Tennessee-Ole Miss game. We'll be updating you with a final score from Texas. Except those of you in Arkansas and Texas, you'll be with us. Four minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the ball game. 38-10 Texas. Jim Wacker, whose Horned Frogs started off the season 5-1, and now this is going to be their 4th loss in a row.
And it all came after they lost their starting quarterback, Leon Clay, who's got a shattered thumb. He broke his thumb, and that's when the season started to turn for the worse for the Horned Frogs.
Not that Matt Vogler has not been a courageous quarterback, but Clay was the guy that really made it click.
Just kind of had some magic, and
That's
they're
right.
able to win games, pull them out of a hat.
Nice play fake by Vogler. And he gets it complete out to Chris Thompson. Not a first down, but a good pickup out to the 48-yard line. When Leon Clay went down with that broken thumb, it was in the Baylor game. They lost that to the Bears, 27-21. And then despite all the offense against Houston, in fact, they racked up major numbers.
Over
in that
700
game.
yards, yes.
And between the two teams, they had 1,563 yards of offense in the Houston game, but they lost that one 56-35. Then 40-28 was the heartbreaker in the loss to Texas Tech last week. And now the Texas Longhorns taking care of business. Richard Woodley, little freshman, got it to the 44-yard line. First down, TCU.
And he put about 25 moves on Jason Burleson when he was coming across. Burleson, a sophomore linebacker, wasn't going to fall for any of it, though.
And shaken up on the play.
Woodley came into the game with a groin pull and was able to play, but now you can see the ill effects of having played on that pull. That's a 4.5 40. He's a business major, and he generally takes care of business.
And they'll whistle this one dead. Three minutes, 23 seconds to go here.
Dead ball, false start, offense.
Since the outcome of this game does not appear to be in doubt, most of you are going to be going to Memphis, Tennessee for the start of the Tennessee-Ole Miss game. And we'll be updating you with a final score from this one in Texas. Except those of you in Arkansas and Texas, you'll stay with us. (38-10), Texas with the lead. TCU keeps it on the ground. Modkins racked up at the line of scrimmage. Will Burdine in on the tackle. And we hate to see that. Hopefully, Richard Woodley's going to be okay. Such an exciting young man to watch. And they're going to head to the TCU locker room.
He's going to be posting some numbers in the Southwest Conference for a long time.
TCU scored first in this one on a field goal, but Texas has stormed back. Pete Gardere with 4 touchdown passes, and the 7th-ranked Longhorns are having their way with 2:25 to go in the game against the Horned Frogs of TCU.